Hi guys, it's Tamara coming back at you with another video. Let's go ahead and get started on our next topic of the week. We're going to be talking about transference, and I'm sure you've heard about this before. Basically, transference is the idea that you are struggling with previous feelings and emotions, and somehow they are coming into play in a current or recent situation that you've been a part of. And I'm going to explain a little bit further. We're going to talk about what it is, and then in the next video I'm going to give you some tips on how to deal with it. So the benefits for you in this video is that you're going to be able to define and clearly understand transference. You're also going to be able to understand and clearly define countertransference, because I think that's going to be important. I think we all kind of experience countertransference. I'm going to put it up here for you so that you can see right above me what I'm saying. So countertransference basically is when another person begins to take on some of the feelings or behaviors or thoughts that you are projecting onto them, and they're beginning to own them themselves and then react and respond as a result. So we're going to talk a little bit more about that today. I think you're going to find this topic extraordinarily interesting. You're probably also going to find this topic a topic that you can highly relate to. I know I did. I've been in the field now for 11 years, but I am still trying to figure this out. And transference is a whole lot. I'm going to fix my camera, guys. My camera's like not doing so good here. All right, so I'm still trying to figure some things out when it comes to transference, and I think for me it's just trying to figure out like when it's happening and then what to do when it happens. Okay, so let's go ahead and jump into what countertransference is, what transference is, and how does it occur. Okay, so let's say that you are a client and you're seeing a therapist for the first time. You think that you guys are going to hit it off well. You think things are going well. You don't see any reason to really worry about your interactions with your therapist. Things are looking good. Things are sounding good between the two of you. Things are going great. All of a sudden, you find yourself thinking about your therapist in a negative way. You start thinking, wait a minute, did my therapist really mean what he said when he said, right, fill in the blanks? You might also start thinking to yourself, did my therapist just offend me today? Like, how did I miss that, right? You might also start questioning your therapist's values and morals and ethics, and you might really start to question the foundation of your relationship. Now, the question that you're going to have to ask yourself is, why am I questioning the foundation of this secure relationship? What's going on here? And so transference may be happening. Transference from a previous relationship, a previous boss, a previous family incident, right? A previous marriage, whatever the issue may be, you're pulling information from your past and you're bringing it into your present. And unfortunately, that's creating ripples in the current relationship. You may not be aware of this. You might actually think that things are going fine. You also might actually think that we're having a normal conversation today, when in fact you're not. The conversation is riddled with subliminal messages and subliminal feelings and subliminal, expectations of the other person. And so when you find yourself kind of not being clear with the other person, which would be your therapist, right? You feel like you're not being clear with them, or you're not being, authentic. You can almost guarantee the transference is happening. Something's going on with you under the surface, and you don't know how to address it or deal with it. So then what do? Right? You, in some subconscious way, let out little bits and pieces of how you really feel, and that can actually turn ugly. Okay? I don't know if you guys have heard of a kind of transference known as erotic transference. Erotic transference is basically the idea that you are transferring sexual or emotional feelings and thoughts onto your therapist. When you do that, and a lot of times clients aren't aware that they're actually doing it, but when you do that, it's creating a dynamic of a romantic nature, right? You might find yourself thinking about this therapist during the day. You might find yourself like missing them. You might find yourself being reminded of them when certain songs come on or when you see certain people in public. You might also find yourself kind of questioning how life would be if you married them, things like that. Erotic transference can be rather powerful, and I always like to point out to my clients, the reason why erotic transference is so powerful is because it's pulling on our innate, natural human need to be loved and to be desired, right? It's also pulling on, again, remember that stuff that's in our history, right? It's latching onto that and it's pulling it forward and it's bringing it into your current relationship, even with a therapist. And you might find yourself perplexed. You might be like, oh my God, how's this happening? Like, why am I feeling this way about my therapist? And part of that is because there's some undercurrent things going on with you that you haven't had time to explore, okay? Countertransference. Let's jump into that a little bit. Countertransference is basically the idea that your therapist has picked up on how you feel, and they are actually beginning to project, receive those projected feelings themselves. So you might be projecting some kind of erotic or emotional, romantic or sexual transference onto your therapist, right? You might actually think that your therapist is flirting with you because, hey, why not? We're supposed to be married, right? Okay, your therapist, right, who may have some unresolved emotional or relational or psychological issues themselves, begins to attach themselves onto your projection of them. And so then what happens to them is that they go back in their emotional memory bank and they pull forth all their emotions, thoughts, feelings, behaviors, and they bring it into the current therapeutic relationship. And there it is, guys. You have two vulnerable individuals in a therapy session who are struggling a great deal with their history and their emotions. What do you do in a situation like this? Stay tuned, guys, because I'm going to talk to you about what you can do in a situation like this. There's a couple of things that you can do as the client. I'm not going to address what the therapist can do because I'm not doing video clips for training purposes or for other clinicians. These videos, guys, are for you, and it's to kind of get you thinking and trying to figure out, like, where are you in your heart, your mind, and your soul, and psychologically, where are you? So I'm going to post a video coming up pretty soon here. Stay tuned, because that video is going to give you tips on how to deal with transference and countertransference. You might actually notice that your therapist may have been the first person who had certain feelings towards you. So what do you do? So we're going to talk about that, guys. Thanks so much for being with me today. I encourage you to give this video a thumbs up if it was helpful to you. One of the reasons I ask for this every video, guys, is because if this was helpful to you, it might be helpful to other people too. And when you give a thumbs up, you're helping to push the video up in the search results through YouTube. And what that does is it makes it available to everybody else. So I encourage you to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe if you want to get further information about the topics that I'm going to be bringing up. We're going to be talking about some pretty cool stuff coming up, guys, and I want to get your input. I want to get your experience, your feelings about it, so stay tuned for that. But in the meantime, guys, I wish you well, and I will talk to you really, really soon. Bye. You got to let it